Most of us carry the same mental image of nature. The weak fall behind, the injured get left, the herd moves on. We've absorbed this from wildlife documentaries, biology class, the phrase itself, survival of the fittest. The expectation that follows is almost automatic. A disabled animal in the wild is sooner or later a dead animal. Researchers observing a pod of sperm whales documented something that didn't fit that picture. Among the group was a whale with a severe spinal deformity. Its body curved at an angle that should have made coordinated swimming nearly impossible. And yet the whale was there, integrated with the pod, fed, not left behind. So the question is simple enough. Do animals abandon their disabled? The short answer is no, not nearly as often as we assume. The longer answer is more interesting. Start with what the evidence actually shows. In social animals, as to species that live in stable groups with long-term relationships, the abandonment of a disabled member is far less common than popular belief suggests. What researchers document much more often is accommodation. Elephants are the most studied example. Herds have been observed repeatedly slowing their travel pace for members who can't keep up due to injury. Disabled elephants, including individuals who've lost limbs to snares or old wounds, have been documented living inside functioning herds for years. In some cases, other members have been seen attempting to physically lift or support a fallen animal. Dolphins show something even more immediate. Pod members have been documented swimming beneath injured companions, holding them near the surface to breathe. Without that support, a dolphin with a serious injury can drown, not in days. Immediately. Some of the individuals receiving this help had injuries severe enough that they would have been dead within minutes alone. So the first honest answer is this. In social species, something that genuinely resembles care exists, and it isn't rare. That answer immediately creates another question. Why? The standard evolutionary explanation is kin selection. Animals are more likely to support members who share their genes. A mother helping a disabled offspring, siblings staying with an injured peer. You aren't just helping an individual, you're protecting copies of your own genes. That explains many cases, but it doesn't explain all of them. Spotted hyenas live in large, hierarchically complex clans. Researchers have documented hyenas with severe physical injuries, significant limb damage, serious movement impairment, remaining active clan members for extended periods, fed through communal kills rather than their own hunting. Clan membership is varied enough that close kinship can't account for it. And then there are the chimpanzees at Gombe. In the 1960s, Jane Goodall watched a polio outbreak move through the chimpanzee community she'd spent years studying. Some survived, with paralysis, limbs that no longer worked. The ability to move through the forest permanently reduced. What she documented afterward was this. The community didn't expel them. Other chimpanzees continued to groom them, to sit with them. The social bonds that had developed over years didn't dissolve because an animal's body had changed. One chimp, arms paralyzed, dragging himself across the ground, remained part of the group, was groomed. That image has stayed with researchers for decades, not because it's a feel-good story, because it complicates everything we think we know about how nature works. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Everything described so far is real, and so is this. Infanticide, the killing of newborns with visible defects, is documented in lions, certain primates, and other species. Some solitary predators abandon injured offspring rather than invest further. Even the most socially cohesive species, under severe resource pressure, sometimes leave disabled members behind. So the same elephants who support their injured across plains can, in a drought, leave a member who can't keep pace. That isn't a contradiction, it's a variable. What determines care versus abandonment seems to come down to two things: the depth of the relationship and what the group can currently afford. Stable long-term groups where individuals know each other, have shared history, are far more likely to support disabled members. The relationship is what makes care possible. Without it, there's no foundation for that behavior to build on. Cost is the other variable. Care in social animals appears to be conditional, not unconditional. It scales with what the group can absorb, which means care in nature isn't a moral stance. It's a calculation, a very old one. Running in some cases without any awareness that it's running at all. That's the question underneath all of this, the one that actually matters. Do these animals know what they're doing? Not just, do they help? We've established that they do. But Do they understand that another animal is disabled? Do they experience something when they help? For most species, the answer is probably limited. They're not categorizing another animal as disabled. They're responding to a group member who moves differently, signals distress, falls behind. The behavior is real. The awareness behind it is likely limited to what the animal can directly see in that moment. Elephants have been documented returning to the remains of dead herd members, not once, not briefly, but repeatedly over months, standing over bones, touching them with their trunks, showing behavioral changes that persist long after the death of a close associate, changes that researchers carefully have described as resembling grief. Whether that constitutes real awareness of another animal's suffering, whether an elephant knows in any meaningful sense what another elephant is going through, is genuinely unanswered. Science hasn't settled it, but the returning, the touching, the long behavioral silence after a loss. It's hard to watch that footage and feel nothing. It's also hard to know exactly what you're watching. So, do animals abandon their disabled? Some do, particularly solitary species and social species under extreme pressure. The image of nature as indifferent to weakness isn't wrong. It's just incomplete. In social species with stable, long-term relationships, the more consistently documented pattern is accommodation, support, ongoing inclusion, a chimpanzee with paralyzed arms being groomed, a dolphin held at the surface so it can breathe, a whale with a deformed spine inside the pod alive. These behaviors didn't evolve because animals decided to be kind. They emerged because the conditions that make care possible, long relationships, mutual dependence, shared history, also happen to produce it. And that's the part that stays with me. We tend to think of compassion as something humans invented, a feature of civilization, a moral achievement we worked toward. But the conditions that generate it are far older than we are. They were here before language, before culture, before anything we'd recognize as thought, running in other species, through other bodies, arriving at the same outcome, the sperm whale with the deformed spine moving through the open ocean with its pod. It didn't earn that place. Nobody decided it deserved to stay, and it was just still in the group, and the group moved with it.